Hey,
Hey,
how are you doing?
how are y'all doing?
Listen, welcome to day
17.
17. And you want to know what?
What's up?
We've come
This
this
far
far,
by
my
faith.
faith. All right, that's enough. Because you would get caught up in that song. Remember the last time? You fighting
I'm
it right
trying.
now. You're fighting it right now. I love you.
I'm
Go
trying.
ahead. Listen, this is day 17 of the Let's Talk About series. I did that intentionally. I had it
He's
planned in my head
intentional.
just to mess with her. Listen, this is day 17 of the what?
Let's talk about.
I like that. I really do. And then the neck roll and the
Yeah.
that does it for me.
31 years of practice.
Ooh, okay. Oh. All right. I hope you ain't been practicing the whole 31 years.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. That means you was a problem child.
I was
Listen. You were and are still.
Thank
Listen, friends, we are so very excited
We are.
to be here with you today. In case you can't tell, we really have
Mhm.
fun doing this. We are having fun with you. And we pray that you are enjoying this.
Hopefully you're enjoying it.
Man, it's almost to
We're
an
enjoying
end.
it, so.
There she go with that neck roll. She's been practicing. We're almost to the end of this thing, but it's getting better and better, gooder and gooder. I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. We've been married long enough to where it just,
You were good.
So listen, today's topic, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Babe, what are we talking about today?
Leaving and cleaving.
Leaving? No, leaving and cleaving.
I'm from the South.
Well, listen, you know what?
In the South, in Louisiana,
Oh,
we say leaving
I don't
and
like
cleaving.
that. Oh, I don't like when people say Louisiana.
It's supposed to be Louisiana, but
It
we say
is.
Louisiana.
I don't understand that. I'm from Louisiana.
The oil say Louisiana.
Lake Charles, as a matter of fact, is where I'm from.
You from Bozeman.
Check my birth certificate. Listen, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I'm sorry. Mark chapter number 10. We're talking about leaving and cleaving. Mark chapter number 10, verse number 6 says, "But from the beginning of creation." Listen, I want y'all to catch this. I really want you to grasp hold of this. From the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female.
Amen.
Okay, that's the first thing. He made them male and female. That means there's a difference. And he didn't say he made a male to become a female. He made a man or a male, then he made a female.
Amen.
Okay, verse 7, it says, "For this reason shall a man leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So then they are no longer two, but one flesh.
That's right.
Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man separate."
That's right.
Friends, listen, I want to talk about this for a second. Leaving and cleaving.
Yeah.
See, first off, we already dealt with the first part that's so very important and pivotal here. From the beginning, God created man and woman. That was it. There was no distinction between the two. Somehow, somehow in the midst of things, though, we have perverted it. We've brought in generational curses and all this other stuff. Now we've got a lot of confusion going on. But I want you to know, you are either born a man and will die as a man, or you are born as a woman and will die as a woman. My wife and I have had this talk with numerous people. It does not matter what you change your sex to, how you start to dress, whatever you call yourself, your DNA, the very genetic makeup of you will always say that you are either A, man, or B, a woman. Whatever you were born, that's what you will be. You can't change it. That's where I'm at.
It's in
Now,
all
in your
yourselves.
mind, you can make up yourself to be whatever you want to be in your mind. In your mind, if you want to be a fish, glory to God, you go and get you some water. You a fish today. But just know that doesn't change anything. Now, it says then, because we are male and female, and God made us to be attracted to one another. See, that's the whole thing there. He said he made them male and female, and they were designed to be attracted together. So, since there was male and female, for this reason, a man will leave father and mother and be joined to his wife because he's attracted to her. He wants her. He has to have her. They are married and they become one. Now, what does this have to do with leaving and cleaving? Well, that's just a little bit of work that God wanted us to clear up and touch on before we got started. Leaving and cleaving looks like this. Oftentimes when we get married, and especially, I want to talk to the men for a second, simply because I've been in this place. As a man, especially if your mother is strong in your life, you've had a great relationship with your mom, you used to help your mom out a lot, whatever the case may be. There are times when you get married that your mom may want you to come over and do all this other kind of stuff, and she may need you to pay some bills, whatever the case may be. But listen, your first priority, as much as your mom may not like it, is your home with your wife.
That's right.
Your wife is your first priority and your first ministry now. And so, yeah, mom may need you to do it, but mom, let me take care of my wife. Let me deal with that. And then if, we have something left over, I'll take care of whatever it is you need. But I'm not going to take away from my wife's time or her finances, our finances, or whatever, just to make sure that you're good.
Right.
Because, see, here's the thing. As a married couple, and I'm talking to married and single men, because single men, I want to help prepare you for marriage when it comes. You have to build up this thing with your wife. You've got to get some things settled. You've got to start some traditions, build some things up. But it's hard to get some things started. It's hard to do traditions or get traditions with your wife and all that set up if you're always running back to your mom. If you're always running back home to, even it doesn't always have to be your mom. It's just, for me, my mom was a strong factor in my life. But maybe it could be that you have a father who's a strong factor in your life. Some of us, mama and daddy didn't raise us. It was our older sisters or older brothers, and we let them control what happens in our household. We let them dictate certain things that happen within our marriage. But listen, you have to leave and cleave. Scripture clearly tells us that for this reason, because you are attracted to her, you have decided that you want to be with her, and you have entered into a covenant with her. For that reason, then you leave all of that stuff behind. What does that simply mean? That means you leave the familiar, you leave the stuff that held you there because that was just your comfort zone.
That's right.
And you join yourself with her, and you go through tough times, and you go through hell and situations, and y'all work it out, and y'all figure it out, and y'all get that thing together. Simply because you now have to build this thing up. You've got to build a marriage. A marriage doesn't happen overnight, especially a good, solid marriage. It don't happen just because you say I do and you do it in a church. That don't make it a good marriage or even a solid marriage yet. That's a good start. But what makes it solid and good is time and effort and work. But it's hard to work on it when you're spending all your time and your effort over at somebody else's house. You're helping out with your mom, your sister, your other family members, whatever the case may be. They have to understand that your wife is priority, men. Go ahead, baby.
And it won't be an easy process.
Yeah.
When you get married, that's when you will see the ties that need to be cleaved, that you need to cut.
Yeah.
That's when you will see how much control or how much influence or factors your family has in your life. How much their opinions matter to you, how much they don't matter to you, how much they think you should do what they say do. And you may be 30, 35, you may have been out the house. You're paying your own bills. You're working your own job. But the thing is, with parents, they will still see you as their child, as their baby, until you make that distinction and say, now I'm drawing the line and this is where I stand. This is my husband. This is what we're going to do. I understand you have your own opinion, but we have an agreement together. We have a covenant together, and we're going to honor that, and nobody else's opinions matter. Especially if you're not paying my bills. Especially if I'm not coming for you for handouts or for advice or whatever.
Even if you are,
that's still between us.
Between us.
That's our marriage. It's not a threesome. It's a twosome.
Oh, come on.
And that two becomes
one. So then, since the two become one, it's still a twosome because the third one is God, and he becomes, so y'all one join with him, and it's still a twosome. I had to make sure I put God in the mix. I'm sorry.
We all one together.
We all one together.
Because he in the center.
He in the center. There you go. All right. It's still a one-some then. Because he's a part of us. Go ahead, girl. Shoot.
Because he's awesome. It's all of us together. So, man, listen. You won't see. I had to deal my grandmother. My grandmother is a strong factor in my life. And we moved down the street from my grandparents. And my grandparents, I had to let them know, we are adults and this is what goes on in our house, and what you think. You can't govern my house. You can't watch over my stuff and think it's your stuff because you gave some of that stuff or you desire some of that stuff. And you just have to. It's a hard place to be in, but it's necessary. And if you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings, if you're afraid of hurting your sister's feelings or your brother's feelings, listen. I even hear someone saying, he always choose her over me. That's his wife. Or she always choose him over me. That's her husband. Leave and Cleave, that's their priority. When all else falls or fails, that's who they have. I don't care how much they vent to you. I don't care how much they tell you their problems. At the end of the day, and the beginning of the day, and in between, they are still married.
Yes.
And we have to respect that. We have to respect those boundaries.
Yeah.
But also, I want people to understand that when you get married, everybody's not going to be happy for you. TV, the media paints this picture that when you get married, you get engaged, that everybody's going to be joyful and happy and everybody's going to come and participate and they're going to be at your wedding and celebrate you. Not so. Especially if it's a marriage designed by God. It's always going to be something. It's always going to be some drama. Somebody's not going to be happy. There's a lot of jealousy really rises up to the top when someone gets married. They don't talk about this, but this is what happens. And you will see who your true friends are when you get married.
And that's the other half of leaving and cleaving. See, you've got to leave the old single mindset.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to leave single friends where they are, especially if they are poisonous single friends, because you've been venting to them and telling them all about what he did beforehand. But now he done tried to clean it up and get married to you and do the right thing. And it's like, they're like, girl, I wouldn't marry him if I was you. But yet they still single and alone themselves.
Right.
And they poisoning you because they have a single mindset.
That's
and they
right.
telling you what they would do. But you can't go off of a single mindset.
Right. A married mindset, a marriage mindset is different from a single mindset.
Absolutely.
In a single mindset, you can walk away.
Yeah.
But in a marriage mindset, you have made a commitment. You have not only made a promise before God, but you have made a promise to your spouse. So the things that a single person should not put up with, a married person, you are under the covenant of God where your souls are assigned to each other, and you have the assignment to pray for them now.
Yeah.
You have the assignment to be long suffering.
Yeah.
You have the assignment to love through it all and to endure through it all. And singleness That is not your assignment.
Right.
Especially if they are not your mate.
Mm-hmm.
If they are not the one that God has sent for you.
Yeah.
So leaving and cleaving goes to family, to mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, whomever, and friends.
Right. Now, and I want to talk about this. I talked to the men earlier. Now I want to deal with the women. Oftentimes, you're so reliant on. There are some women, not all, some who are just so reliant on your father.
That's right.
And you'll call on your father to come fix stuff.
I'm a daddy's
you'll call
girl.
on your.
I'm not a daddy's girl.
No, she's not. But there are some women who will say that. Who
if you can't do it. I'm going to get my daddy to do it.
Right. Let me call my daddy to do it. Even if you can do it. I'm going to call my daddy. He going to come over and fix it. I'm going to call my daddy. He going to come. Listen, don't bring your daddy in your house to demasculate your husband, to fix nothing, to do nothing. Listen, instead of that, how about you let your husband decide what he want to do? If he want to call your daddy, then let him do that. Or if he want to call a repairman and pay a repairman, let him do that.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is you just reminding him that your daddy is more of a man than what he is. Your daddy can take care of you better than what he can. But what you have to learn to do, ladies, is especially, and I'm talking to let's just say I'm talking to the daddy's girls, and right now, you've got to learn to let that relationship go just a little bit. I'm not saying you stop being daddy's girl per se, because you're always going to be daddy's girl.
Yeah.
But that role has to change to where daddy's not the first one that you call. You consult with your husband. You deal with that thing with your husband. And you let your husband decide, or y'all decide together how y'all want to handle that thing. Now, if y'all talk about it and he says, look, yeah, go ahead, call your daddy. I'm cool with that. Then fine.
Right.
But don't just jump right off. I'm going to call my daddy. No. What you're doing is demasculating the man and letting him know my daddy is more of a man than you. My daddy can take care of me better than you. And so that's the first thing. The other half of that is this. When it comes to leaving and cleaving, you also have to recognize and realize that there are certain things that you did in your single life, certain habits you had in your single life that you've got to leave behind.
Yeah.
A part of that whole leaving and cleaving is and we said it already, but I'm just trying to get a little bit deeper into it, is in the mind. A lot of it is in the mind. See, you've gotten so set because you've been single for so many years. You've been single for so long. And the other half of it is, I see like somebody, your thing is you Miss Independent. You got the license plate or whatever that say Miss Independent, or you got whatever, and your tags on whatever is just independent. You got to let that go. You've got to die to that, and you've got to learn how to be dependent. If you're talking about being married, leaving and cleaving, leave that old independent woman where she was. You ain't got to be independent no more. You've got a man. You've got a husband.
Let him pick up the bags. Let him open the door.
Come on.
I mean, even if y'all are sharing the bank account or whatever, if he want to pay the bills, if he want to, go online, click the button, let him do it. I mean, you have to learn how to let the man be the man, and it's really hard.
It is.
But if you allow him, and he has that in him to do that. Like, I had to learn to let him open the door for me. Yeah. I never had it happen, but when someone started before him opening the door for me, I was like, I think I kind of like this. But it's so easy when you're by yourself to just reach for the door and open it. You're used to doing that. You're used to picking up your grocery and all of that stuff. And he's like, no, I got it. And I can very well pick up lots of grocery and do everything that he can do for me by myself.
Right.
But when
I'm telling you, listen, it's a mind thing, and you have to change your mindset. You have to leave that mindset behind. You know, my wife has left that mindset so far behind that sometimes she'll go somewhere without me and still sit in the car, be waiting on somebody to open her door because she's left that mindset. Glory to God. You know, I enjoy opening her doors. I really do. And so she'll be waiting in the car like, oh, wait, he not with me.
And ladies, if a guy, if you're not even with this guy and he offers to help you with something, don't say, oh no, I got it, thanks. Let him help you.
Yeah, learn to receive the help. Now here's the other thing that goes with that leaving and cleaving, and especially I want to talk about this for those who have been so strong and independent, and this is women, and it can even go for men. But don't always be checking up behind them to see if they done did it, and then fussing when they haven't done it. If they, you know, whatever, like you have to kind of give, especially women. This is, but men, we do some of this too. If they say, look, I got this, whatever the case may be, don't go checking up behind them all the time, because then you become their mama. Or as men, you become their daddy. And they don't need that. They need their lover and their supporter. And see, that's the problem that my wife and I have had in the past that we've worked past is oftentimes I'm always keeping track and tabs on everything that is going on around me. And some of the times my wife will be doing something and I know what she's going to go do and she may forget and and she'd be like, dang, just let me, you know. But it's and she's like, you always trying to manage something or micromanage or whatever. But the issue is I had to learn to give her the freedom to just do her own thing.
Please.
Let her, you know, stop trying to, you know, make sure. In my mind, I'm just helping her. I'm trying to help her stay on track.
Too helpful because then I would end up forgetting, or it's just like handicapping me. So when he's not around, what am I going to do?
Right.
You know, or you know, let me walk this thing out. Let me live this thing out. Because I am still a human being, and I need my freedom and my liberty to go for things and give me a chance to ask you for your help.
Right. And that's also one of the things that comes with leaving and cleaving is I'm just so used to with my sisters, with everybody else, just keeping an eye on everything, making sure everybody got everything going. I'm Mr. Helpful. That's just me. You know, I'm very helpful.
Very.
All the time. And my wife will tell you, if she don't know where something is, babe, what did I do with this? And I can tell her because I keep tabs on everything, not because I'm trying to whatever. It's just a part of my nature. But what I had to learn was to allow my wife to just be herself, try and figure some things out. And I realized, like she said, I did handicap her for a while. I did. She didn't try, you know, and she would just be like, babe, where is this? It's right there. But friends, listen. You've got to learn to leave and cleave. And again, that's from family and friends. That's from mindsets and old habits and old ways. Because when you bring all of that into your marriage, all that stuff, family, friends, mindsets, habits and ways, what you're doing is you're putting poison in your marriage.
And don't let your family members draw a wedge between you and your spouse because they don't like them.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
You're attracted to them. You love them. They make you happy. So therefore, don't try to please other people because they're not happy with who you chose. Even if they're the wrong one, you still be sure and confident in your choice. Because family, sisters, brothers, or whatever will have you in a place where they want to make you feel like you have to choose. They may have their own spouse, they may have their own family, but they have you feeling like you have to choose or putting you in a bad place where it's putting a wedge in between your marriage and relationships in your family and stopping relationships because they feel like they own you. They feel like you're their territory. And it's not that you love them any less.
Right.
You still love them. It's just that you have to leave and cleave.
Absolutely.
And it's not that you're going to leave them and go off to Australia and they're never going to see you again. The leaving is, I'm going to join with this man.
Right.
I'm going to join with this one, and we're going to start our life together and see what the end's going to be.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah, and leaving and cleaving is just as simple as start forming your own life. Don't make your Christmases always revolve around. Do some stuff that y'all want to do together. Last year for Christmas, my wife and I were up in the mountains in Arkansas.
Yes.
With some friends. It wasn't no family. It was just with some friends.
Don't let them pressure
you. And it was
you.
beautiful. And we enjoyed it and all that. And when we were thinking about it this year, we were like, man, where are we going to go?
Right.
And we ended up here in Florida with family, but it was our choice in the end. And also God led us here.
Right.
So, look, formulate your own stuff. That's leaving and cleaving.
Mm-hmm.
We love you.
We love you.
You be blessed. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, know that you can email us at 21daysoфencouragement@gmail.com. I know that's a long name, but it's amazing results. No. Always
guys.
email us. We love you. You be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow.
For being here.
Thank you for being here.